Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are well, safe and healthy at home. And I'm sure you must be eager to learn from the home. So welcome to all of you in the online teaching system. I hope you will find it convenient as we have created a WhatsApp group where you can communicate your issues to me. And at the same time, you can email me and post your queries on Google Classroom. When we talk about lectures, you will receive two recorded lectures in a week, and there will be one interactive session. I hope you will prove yourself a vigilant student. In today's class, the topic is subject to verb agreement rules. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to identify correct subject verb agreement, and you will be able to determine correct subject verb agreement and correct verb tenses. When we talk about the knowledge and the transmission of knowledge, you may be knowledgeable about a certain area of expertise. But if you cannot communicate effectively, your knowledge is useless. Because incorrect subject-verb agreement can cause your writing to be confusing to your reader. Here you can see in the example, there are mistakes of subject-verb agreements. Here you can see that if your subjects and verbs disagree, you does not sound so good. Like here you can see the wrong verb has been used. In fact, writers who do not understand the elementary concepts of grammar have no credibility. Again, two other wrong verbs have been used. In the other sentence, you can see, "You is a good boy." Just think about it. Were these sentences easy to understand? You probably found it quite confusing. In this lesson, you will learn how to determine correct subject-verb agreement and correct verb tenses. Here you can see the appropriate version of subject-verb agreement sentences. Well, we will start from the rules. You will learn one by one different rules through which you will be able to appropriately construct a sentence in which you will be able to add appropriate verb according to the subjects. So here is the first rule. The first rule, which is quite easy and the basic principle of subject-verb agreement. The singular subjects need singular verbs, plural subjects needs plural verbs. Uh, Subject and verb which are quite clear to all of you. Subject is the name of person, place or thing which perform a function in the sentence or about which we are basically talking in the sentence, and verb is basically your action which is performed by the subject. So according to the first rule, singular subjects need singular verbs and plural subjects need plural verbs. Here you can see in the examples, my brother is a nutritionist. The subject is my brother, and the verb is. As the subject is singular, similarly the verb is singular. But in other example, you can see my sisters are mathematicians. Here the subject, my sisters, is plural. That's why the plural verb has been used in this sentence. So the singular subjects require singular verbs and plural subjects require plural verbs. Rule number 2. This rule is a reference to the first rule. Two or more singular nouns or pronouns require a plural verb. In the rule number 1, you have learned about that if the subject is singular, then the verb will be singular. If the subject is plural, then the verb will be plural. But if there are two singular nouns, singular nouns are pronouns in a sentence, which can be joined by the conjunction. So you will require a plural verb. Here you can see in the examples, gold and silver are precious metals. Basically, here we have two subjects in this sentence. The one subject is gold and other subject is silver. Both two subjects, two nouns are singular nouns, but they have been joined by a conjunction and. So there are two singular nouns in this sentence. So two singular nouns require a plural verb. So gold and silver are precious metals. In next example, fire and water do not agree. Again, fire singular noun, water again a singular noun, but there are two singular nouns which have been joined by a conjunction and. That's why we require a plural verb here. In other example, knowledge and wisdom have no connection. Again, two singular nouns which have been joined by a conjunction and. That's why we need a plural verb have. In next example, you can see, are your father and mother at home? Mother and father, again two singular nouns have been joined by conjunction and. That's why our subject is father and mother. So we will go for plural verb are. The second last example, in him were centered their love and their ambition. Keep it in your mind that here the subject is not in him. Him is not the subject. Basically, the love and ambition. These two singular nouns are the subject of this sentence. So we will agree now. We will agree verb with two singular subjects, two singular nouns, which are joined by the conjunction and. That's why we need a plural verb were here. In last example, you can see he and I were playing. Again, two nouns, two are joined by a conjunction. So we need were a plural verb. So according to the rule number 2, two or more singular nouns or pronouns require a plural verb when they are joined by conjunctions. Here is the rule number 3. But if the nouns suggest one idea to the mind or refer to the same person or thing, the verb is singular. This rule is reference to the rule number 2. And rule number 2, when two or more than two singular nouns or pronouns are there, we will go for plural verb. But if two or more than two singular nouns or pronouns in a sentence, but those two singular nouns are basically about one main idea, about one person, place, thing, or idea, are referring to one person, place, or thing, then we will go for singular verb. Here you can see in the example, time and tide waits for none, for no man. Right? Time and tide. Although these are two singular nouns, but these have been used for one main idea. That's why we will go for singular verb. In next example, you can see the horse and carriage is at the door. So why we have used a singular verb here? Because the horse is a singular noun. Similarly, courage is also a singular noun. But keep it in your mind that these two subjects, these two nouns have been used for one main idea. The author has called horse as the carriage. There is no a separate carriage and a separate horse outside the door. There is one horse which is also a carriage, which is at the door. That's why we will use singular verb here. There are some other examples to make your concepts further clear about it. Bread and butter is his only food. Again, bread and butter are basically uh, about one main idea. That's why there is singular verb. Honor and glory is his reward. Again, honor and glory giving the one main idea, talking about one thing. And again, another example you can see, my friend and benefactor has come. Here, the writer has not called that my friend and benefactor are two different persons. He is basically using benefactor for his friend. So basically, his friend has arrived, his friend has come there. So he is using benefactor for the description of his friend, for describing his friend. So two singular subjects, two singular nouns have been used for one idea, for one friend. That's why there is singular verb has. Another last example, the novelist and poet is dead. In this sentence, it doesn't mean that novelist and poet are two different persons. The writer is basically talking about the one person who is the novelist and at the same time who is also a poet, right? So he is talking about the one idea, one person. That's where the subject is singular. But keep it in your mind that if there are two persons, then we will add another definite article here, the novelist and the poet are dead, right? So as the writer is basically talking about the one person who is novelist and who is poet, that's why here he has used singular verb is. The novelist and poet is dead. Well, it was all about the rule number 3. Now we are moving towards the rule number 4. So rule number 4 is the indefinite pronoun anyone, everyone, someone, no one, nobody are always singular and therefore require a singular verb. Alright, you have learned about the indefinite pronouns, right? While studying the parts of speech, you clearly understood the use of indefinite pronouns and what are basically the indefinite pronouns are. So anyone, someone, everyone, no one, and nobody, these are basically indefinite pronouns. When they are used in a sentence, they always require a singular verb because they are considered singular. Here you can see the examples. Everyone has done her homework. It's not everyone have done, it's everyone has done. Another example, you can see somebody has left her purse. It's not somebody have, it's somebody has. So keep it in your mind that indefinite pronouns, which are anyone, everyone, someone, no one, and nobody, these indefinite pronouns are considered singular subjects and they always require singular verb. But related to this, there is another rule which is also about the indefinite pronouns. So, the indefinite pronouns such as all and some are singular or plural depending on what they are referring to. In previous rule, anyone, everyone, someone, no one, nobody. These are the four indefinite pronouns which require singular verb. But two other indefinite pronouns which are all and some, they can be used singular, they can be used plural depending on what basically they are referring to. They usually refer a noun which can be uncountable noun and uncountable noun. What you need to keep in your mind is that what basically these are referring. If they are referring a countable noun, then you will go for plural verb. If all and some are referring to uncountable noun, then you will go for singular verb. You can see here in examples, some of the beads are missing. Here, indefinite pronoun some is basically referring to beads, which is a countable noun. That's why you will go for plural verb. But in other example here, you can see some, which is an indefinite pronoun. It is referring to uh, uncountable noun, which is water. Water cannot be counted. Similarly, milk, which cannot be counted. So some of the water is gone. So when all and some, which are indefinite pronouns, when they will refer to uncountable nouns, then you will add singular verb, but when they will be for countable nouns, then you will go for plural verb. Well, the rule number 6. On the other hand, there is one indefinite pronoun which is none. That cannot be either singular or plural. It can be used both as singular and plural. It often doesn't matter whether you use a singular or plural verb unless until something else in the sentence determines its numbers. So, a specific indefinite pronoun which is none, you are free to use singular verb or plural verb with none, but unless something other determines the numbers. If something other is determining the plural numbers, then you will go for specific plural verb. Otherwise, you are free to go for plural or singular verb. Here you can see the example. None of you claims responsibility for this incident, but you can also use none of the claim responsibility. None of you claim responsibility for this incident. Similarly, you can also use none of the students have done their homework. So these three rules were about the indefinite pronouns. First rule number 4, everyone, anyone, someone, nobody, and no one. They always require singular verb. But two indefinite pronouns, all and some, you will determine the verb according to the noun which they are referring to. If the noun is countable, then you will go for plural verb. If the noun is uncountable, then you will go for singular verb. And one indefinite pronoun which is none, you are free to use plural verb or singular verb with the indefinite pronoun none, unless something else in the sentence determines its number. Next rule, which is rule number 7. It's about the phrases together with as well as along with. Basically, these are the phrases which can be called conjunction in sentences sometimes, but usually people misunderstand these as the substitute as the synonym of and, but it is not. The phrases such as together with, as well as, and along with are not the same as and. So the phrase introduced by as well as or along with will modify the earlier word, but it is not compound the subjects. So how will you use verb in a sentence in which there are phrases such as together with, as well as, and along with? Let's discuss about it. We will discuss it with the examples so that it becomes very clear to all of you. In first example, you can see the mayor as well as his brothers is going to prison. So keep it in your mind that when two subjects or two nouns, which can be singular, which can be plural, are joined by the as well as phrase, then you will add verb according to the nearer subject, whether it's singular or plural. So mayor as well as his brothers is going to prison. Is has been used according to the major subject, which is mayor. So as well as has not been used to join these two subjects. Basically, as well as has been used to add other subjects here, to other noun here. But keep it in your mind that as well as and are totally different. The mayor and his brothers. Another example in this sentence here, you can see the mayor and his brothers are going to jail, right? So in this sentence, the mayor and his brothers have been joined by the conjunction and. That's why we need to add here a plural verb. These can be two singular nouns, these can be one singular and one plural nouns, these both can be plural. right? But when we talk about the first sentence, the mayor as well as his brothers is going to prison. To keep it in your mind, the here the verb has been used according to the first subject, which is mayor. In other sentence, you can see the ship with its crew was lost. So here was, which is a verb, has been used according to the first subject, first noun, which is the ship. In other sentence, you can see silver as well as cotton has fallen in price. So here silver is the subject, which is singular subject. So we have added a singular verb according to the first subject, first singular noun. In other sentence, you can see English as well as Arabic was taught there. So was, which is a singular verb, has been used according to the first subject, which is English. In other example, in other sentence, you can see justice as well as mercy allows it. Right? So allows is a singular verb which has been used keeping in mind the subject justice, which is a singular noun. But if the sentence, if we make a sentence justice and mercy, then we can go for allow, which will be a plural verb. So keep it in your mind that when you are using together with as well as and along with, these phrases are totally different from and. So when you are using these phrases in a sentence, you use the verb according to the first subject in a sentence. Rule number 8 is about neither and either. So the pronouns neither and either are singular and require singular verbs even though they seem to be referring in a sense to two things. So no matter if they are referring to two things, they will always require a singular verb. The pronouns neither and either will require a singular verbs because they are considered singular nouns. So here you can see in the example, neither of the two traffic lights is working. So is a verb which has been used according to the pronoun, which is a subject, which is considered singular, not according to two traffic lights. Well, neither of the two traffic lights is working. In other example, you can see either is fine with me. Again, the verb has been used keeping in mind the pronoun either. So neither and either requires singular verb in a sentence. Rule number 10. Two singular subjects connected by either or, neither nor, require a singular verb. In previous rule, either and neither always require a singular verb, and when two subjects are connected by either or and neither nor, then you will always use a singular verb here. Here you can see in the example, neither Ali nor Annie is available. So Ali and Annie have been joined, have been connected by neither nor. Similarly, either or, if you are going to use in a sentence, you will go for singular verb. Let's move toward the rule number 11. If both elements are singular, then the verb is singular. However, if one of the elements is plural, then we will use a plural verb. So this is in reference to the rule number 10. In rule number 10, I told you to use singular verb with either or and neither nor. When two singular subjects are connected by either or and neither nor, then you will use singular verb. So focus on this statement, which is two singular subjects. If the subjects are two singular and which are connected by either or and neither nor, then you will use singular verb. But if one of the subject is singular but other of the subject is plural, then you will go for plural verb. if both of the subjects are plural and those both plural subjects or plural nouns are connected by either are or neither are, then definitely you will go for plural verb. But if one is plural and other is singular, then again you will go for plural verb. But if both the elements, both the subjects, both the nouns are singular, but both of the singular subjects, singular nouns have been connected by either or, neither or not, then you will go for singular verb. So, either my father or my brothers are going to sell the house. In this sentence, either my father or my brothers are going to sell my house. You can clearly see the first noun, the first subject is my father, which is singular, right? The second subject, which is my brothers, which is plural subject. So both these subjects have been connected by either or, right? One singular and other plural. Then we will add plural verb here. If one subject is singular, other subject is singular, and both of the subjects have been connected by either are, then you will go for singular verb, right? But here we have one singular and other plural. That's why we will add plural verb here. My father, either my father or my brothers are going to sell the house. In other example, you can see either the father or the mother has to attend the meeting, right? Either the father or the mother has to attend the meeting. You can clearly see here the father, singular noun, singular subject, the mother, again singular subject. Both singular nouns and singular subjects have been connected by either or. So we will use singular verb which is has. But if one of the subject, one of the noun is plural, then we will go for plural verb. I hope this rule is clear to all of you. Other examples of this rule are there. You can see neither the teacher nor the students were in the classroom this morning. Neither the teacher nor the students were in the classroom this morning. So the teacher, clearly visible to all of you that the teacher is a singular noun. But at the same time, the students is not a singular noun. It's a plural. One singular noun, other plural noun have been connected by neither nor. Then definitely we will go for plural verb. Neither the teacher nor the students were in the classroom this morning. Well, in the next example, you can see either the cat or the dog has been here. The cat, singular noun. The dog, singular noun. Both singular subjects have been connected by either or. That's why we have used here has, which is a singular verb. In last example of this rule, you can see neither food nor water was to be found there. Neither food nor water was to be found there. Food, singular subject, singular noun. Again, water is also a singular noun. So both singular nouns have been connected by neither nor. That's why we have used here a singular verb. I hope this rule is pretty clear to all of you. Now we are moving towards another rule. Rule number 12. When the subjects joined by or nor are of different persons, the verb agrees with the nearer subject, with the nearer noun or pronoun. Here you can see in the example, either he or I am mistaken. In this sentence, you can see he and I both are personal pronouns, but both these pronouns require different verbs. So what to do here? When these types of pronouns are connected or joined by either or neither nor, then we will always use verb according to the nearer subject, according to the nearer nouns or pronoun, right? Either he or I am mistaken. Here you can see he require is and I require am, but we have used here am. Why? Because the nearer subject is I. Either he or I am mistaken, right? The next example, next sentence, either you or he is mistaken. Either you or he is mistaken. Here you can see you, which is a second person personal pronoun, and he is a third person personal pronoun. You require are, but he require is. Why we have used here is because the nearer subject is he. So you and he are two subjects which are different persons. It can be second, it can be first, it can be third person. When we are going to join second, first, and third persons which are different with the use of either or neither nor, then we will use verb according to the nearer subject. Either you or he is mistaken, so is has been used keeping in mind the proximity of the he. Neither you nor he is to blame. Neither you nor he is to blame. Here you can see that is a verb which has been used keeping in mind the mirror subject which is he. In last example you can see neither my friend nor I am to blame. Neither my friend nor I am to blame. So my friend and I, these are the two subjects, two different persons, right, which have been connected with neither nor. So when we have connected them with neither nor, then we will use verb keeping in mind the proximity of the subject which is near to the verb. So verb will agree with the nearer subject which is I. In this sentence I is nearer to the verb, so verb will agree with the I. Neither my friend nor I am to blame. So when the subject joined by or nor are of different persons, the verb agrees with the nearer subjects. We will keep in our mind the proximity of the subject. Next rule, which is rule number 13. It's quite clear and very important rule, and usually students make such type of mistakes. I have checked your paragraph writing. And I have checked your paragraphs in midterm exam. Majority of the students have made these types of mistakes. So you can see in the example, Maria likes pizza. This is the right sentence. Maria like pizza. This is incorrect sentence, right? So keep it in your mind that verbs in the present tense for third person singular subjects always require the addition of s or es. Third person singular are he, she, it, and name of anything. So when we are using the simple present tense, then we will add s or es with the verbs of he, she, it, name. But other verbs do not add s endings. You can see here in examples, he loves, right? He is third person singular subject, and we are talking basically about the present tense. She loves. She is also a singular third person. They love. They is basically a plural verb. Sorry, plural subject. That's why it doesn't require a singular. It doesn't require a singular verb. You listen to your parents, but he listens to his parents, right? So according to the rule number 13, while using present tense, third person singular subjects which are he, she, it, and name, they always require a verb which ends with s or es, the addition of s or es. Moving towards the rule number 14. This is also a very important rule. It's about the use of collective noun, that which verb you need to use with the collective noun. A collective noun takes a singular verb when the collection is thought of as one whole, but it requires a plural verb when the individuals of which it is composed are thought of as different and as separate entity. So collective, keep it in your mind that collective nouns require singular verb, but they also require plural verb. So when to use singular verb? You will use singular verb when you will take collective noun as a collection, when you will use that collective noun in a sentence as a single entity, as a single unit. But when you will use that collective noun as uh, different individuals, as different partition, or in the form of different division, then you will go for plural verb. In the example, you can see the committee has issued its report. Here, you have here has singular verb has been used for the collective noun committee. Why singular verb has been used here? Because the committee has been taken a one idea, a one entity, and you can say a one whole entity is represented by the committee. So it's a unit. There are different individuals which are unite and which are basically issuing a report. That's why a singular verb has been used here. But in the next sentence, you can see here the committee are divided on one minor point. So committee has divided here on the basis of the individuals. Some individuals are at the one side and other individuals at the other side of the point of view. Right? So here the committee has divided. Committee are divided on one minor point. That's why here we have used a plural verb. So you will go for the singular verb when the collective noun is taken as an entity, as a single entity. It is used, it requires a plural verb when the individuals of which it is composed are thought of different individuals. Rule number 15. Some nouns which are plural in form but singular in meaning take a singular verb. Basically, there are certain nouns. When we talk about the form of those nouns, they are basically plural. But when we use them, we use them as singular because they don't have the singular of their plurals. In the form, they have been formed in the form of plural, but they don't have singular. So when we use them in a sentence, we use them as a singular. The news. The noun is news. News is always spoken and written as news. It is not new. It is always used as news. Right? So in form, it is although plural, but we always use singular verb with news. The news is true. Similarly, politics. Politics is also a noun which is plural in form but singular in meaning. That's why it will always take a singular verb. Politics was with him the business of his life. In next sentence you can see the wages, right? Wages is a noun which is plural in form but singular in meaning, so it will always take a singular verb. As in this sentence, the wages of sin is death. Is has been used keeping in mind wages. Well, the rule number 16 is here. This is also a very important rule, and students usually get confused while using these words. These are the words like glasses, pants, and scissors. These are also nouns. Basically, these are always used in this sense. We cannot use glass for glasses. We cannot use pant for pants. We cannot use scissor for scissors. Right? So these are the words which are regarded as plural and always require a plural verb. Right? So glasses, pants, and scissor, these are such words when they are used in a sentence as a subject, they will always require a plural verb. But there is also an exception, which is that when we use them, when we use a pair of, one pair of, two pair of, three pair of, or we can simply say the pair of or a pair of. When the pair of or are pair of is used before glasses, pens, and scissors, then we will agree the verb with the subject are pair of, but not with the subject pants, glasses, trousers, or scissors. Let me explain with the examples. In first sentence, you can see my classes were on the bed. All right. So the subject is my classes, which is plural, and it is always used in the same way, right? So we always need a plural verb with classes, with pants, with scissors, and with trousers. That's why we have used here plural verb. My glasses were on the bed, right? In next sentence, you can see my pants were torn, or you can simply say my pants are in the cupboard. So my pants is singular, although it is recorded as a plural subject, right? So here you will always use a plural verb. But an exceptional case is that when we use a pair before the pants, glasses, scissors, or trousers, then we will agree verb keeping in mind the word appear, which is a subject in this sentence. A pair of trousers is in the cupboard, right? So here is has been used keeping in mind the subject a pair, not trousers. But when the subject will be trousers, then we will go for plural verb, right? Glasses, pens, scissors are regarded as singular, and they always require are regarded as plural, and they always require a plural verb. But if these words are preceded by a phrase which is pair of, then you will go for singular verb. The next rule is rule number 17. This is about the measurements which are used in sentences. When a measurement amount is described as a sentence, right? When a measurement or amount is described in a sentence, that quantity or amount is taken as a singular. That's why it always requires a singular verb. Here you can see in the example, 15 minutes is allowed to each speaker, right? So 15 minutes is basically telling us the measurements, right? So it is taken as a singular subject. That's why it requires a singular verb, which is. 15 minutes is allowed to each speaker. In next sentence, you can see 10 kilometers is a long walk. Again, 10 kilometers basically telling us the measurement. So we have taken here the measurement as a singular subject. That's why we will use singular verb here. 10 kilometer is a long walk. 50,000 rupees is a large sum. Here 50,000 rupees basically is a subject which has been taken singular, because measurements and quantities, when they are used as a subject in a sentence, they are considered singular subject, and they always require singular verb. In other sentence, you can see 3 parts of the business is left for me to do. So 3 parts is a subject. An entity, basically we are talking, which is basically telling us the uh, you can see quantity. So when a measurement or amount is described in a sentence, that quantity or amount takes a singular verb, and you will always use a singular verb here. Last but not least, the very important point is here, which is about the use of, you can say, use of group nouns. So what are group nouns? Such as team, group, and family. These are nouns. When they are used as a subject, so they also require sometimes singular and sometimes plural verb. So when they require singular and when they require plural, let me tell you. Basically, I'll tell you from the point of view of American English and British English. When we talk about American English, so it basically require it is the group nouns, which are team, group, and family. In American English, These subjects or these nouns always require singular verb. His family was very proud. This group was very strong. His team was great, whatever. So in American English, the group nouns such as team, group, and family require singular verb. But when we talk about British English, this is not incorrect. In British English, we can also use singular subject, singular verb with these nouns. But British English also allows us to use plural verb too. You can see here, his family were very proud. So in British English, you can use singular verb and plural verb both. In American English, only singular verb with group noun is acceptable and is considered appropriate use of verb with the subject. Well, these are the 18 rules which you learned in today's lecture, and I hope you got all these points very well. In case of any query, in case of any issue, you can contact me. You can post your query in the WhatsApp group. You can personally email me, and you can also post your query on the Google Classroom. Well, there will be a there will be an interactive session in this week as well, and you can also discuss all these points. And if you have any query, you can ask in that interactive session. But it's very important for all of you to understand these concepts. One thing which is very important, which I want to tell you, is that I have uploaded a handout of this course of English composition and comprehension on Google Classroom, right? So you can go through that handout, and you can find this topic in the handout, and for in-depth study you can read that topic. There are also exercises there. You can solve those exercises to gain competency uh, on this topic and improve your spoken and written language. There will also be a quiz. That's why it's mandatory for all of you to prepare these, to understand these rules. In case of any confusion, do contact with me. I'll make your concept clear, and I'll also announce the date of the quiz very soon in this week. So stay at home, stay safe, keep yourself safe and your family safe. Goodbye. Allah Hafiz.